Hello and welcome to Horrible Horror, where I put my life on the line for your entertainment. Now, since this is the first video I'm going to do of the series, I'm going to tell you a little about what this is all about. Basically, I am a horror nut. But being a horror fan doesn't mean you have to love every single horror movie ever produced, even if you, like me, also love the B-movies. You know, horrible plots, horrible acting, horrible, everything. But I am here to bring to you, the casual viewers, and the hardcore horror nuts, the crap on top of the crap, the worst of the very worst. And I would like to start out with an entry in a little subgenre I absolutely adore, namely, the slasher flick. Yes, the slasher flick. The kind of movies where a disfigured, unseen, or disguised killer disposes of a group of people systematically in elaborate and often very gory ways. Now, I could go into very great detail with the history of this genre, but I will save that for some other time. What you need to know is that even though Halloween, featuring horror icon Michael Myers, is not the first slasher, he is definitely one of the most iconic and one of the biggest impacts on the subgenre. You could say that he truly kickstarted the 80s slasher boom, and it shows. Pretty much all slashers from the late 70s and 40s borrow heavily from this film, some with better results than others. But the movie we're looking at today is quite possibly the most blatant and obvious ripoff of this movie ever to exist. I am of course talking about a little film called Offerings from 1989. The year I was born. Somehow that's kind of disturbing. But anyway, this movie just rips off Halloween in so many ways, we need a counter. That means that every time a blatant ripoff shows up, this will happen. But let's not dwell any further on that. Instead, let us dive headfirst into the shitfest that is Offerings. Did that sound familiar to you? For fuck's sake, it's like the exact same theme music! How could they believe they could get away with stealing such a famous piece of movie soundtrack? You can't take anything that easily recognizable? That's like taking the Mona Lisa and claiming you painted the goddamn thing yourself! But anyway, let's continue. The movie begins with a pretty nice effect going from fire to this lovely lady here. And as the ripped off music and the psycho bitch with the curlers is telling us, we have a kid who is kind of an animal mistreating psycho. And with a mother like that, who can blame him? So there is this one girl who the boy seems to like, and they play together. That seems innocent enough. But wait! Bullies show up! The kid tries to leave, but little Miss Dicktails here makes him stay to get properly bullied.
Chicken!
Wow. How insulting. So they make him walk around this well that is kind of standing around in the middle of nowhere in the forest where it's no good to anybody. And you can guess what happens next.
Not bad for a retard!
Yeah, they push him in the well and run off. What little dicks. 10 years later, and I know how much of a cliché that is, we learn that he survived the fall and was put in a mental hospital where he's practically been a vegetable since then.
Every time he takes a crap, he thinks he's having an abortion.
Thanks, I needed to know that. So anyway, he wakes up, he kills his nurse and walks straight out of the hospital, conveniently not being spotted at all, and returns to his hometown. We cut to this suddenly introduced psychology professor who is told that the kid has escaped because this apparently deeply involves him. And we are reintroduced to Gretchen. Hot damn yes, little Gretchen is back. She's attractive, she's in danger, and she is completely incapable of acting. Oh God, the acting in this movie. I mean, sure, most slasher flicks aren't exactly known for having amazing actors, and that's something I expect, but this is just downright abysmal.
It is pretty stupid.
Anyway, little Gretchen decides to hold a party while her parents are out for the weekend, but soon strange things start to happen. For an example, the phone begins to ring.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, it's the moan call. Just like in Halloween. Moving on. So then the police finds a dead animal that has apparently been chewed on by a human. Oh, come on! We had another ripoff less than a minute ago! How can they do that again so soon? But yeah, the killer starts stalking around a bit, and we're introduced to a couple of 20-something-year-old teenagers with about as much character as a cracked eggshell.
All these chicks want me for is my notes. They can note this.
So as you can guess, John, that's right, his name is John actually, starts killing people that the viewer can only assume are the girl's friends, what with them having not been introduced at all and everything. Dude! He just crushed that guy's head with a hammer and a vise! Awesome! This is actually one point where the movie does stray a bit from Halloween. The kills in this one are very different and there are more of them. They come at a fairly good pace and they are definitely more mean-spirited than the original Halloween. Perhaps there's hope after all. Unfortunately, not. We get a lot of boring scenes of girls being 80s girly. One of the girls is killed in her car. And we finally get to the party where they're apparently playing Find a Horror Movie Worse Than the One We're in right now, and losing.
The show is so boring.
So where's Tim and Linda?
You just gotta love how it plays sinister music through this whole cozy little scene. Surely nothing creepy could happen to this lovable bunch.
Don't be so gross.
But anyway, their pizza arrives.
God, finally.
Without a delivery boy. Or a bill.
Well, maybe since he was so late, they were free.
I guess. So what'd they end up sending?
Looks like Canadian bacon and sausage and sausage.
And with sausage.
We didn't order any sausage.
That they didn't order.
It doesn't taste like sausage, but it's good.
Sausage that doesn't taste like sausage. Sausage that they eat anyway. Yeah. You guessed it.
The lab believes the sausage on the pizza was human.
What a twist!
By the way, I really love how they leave exactly one slice for the cop to examine.
It don't look like sausage to me.
But anyway, apparently the killer leaves body parts of his victims for Gretchen since she was the only one who was nice to him, as offerings, hence the title. How sweet of him.
I think it's real.
The killer takes out another very old kid, and our deeply involved psychology professor makes a fabulous return. We salute you, sir! You were sorely missed. Turns out that our killer robbed his mom's grave, like Mikey does with his sisters in Halloween. And we are introduced to possibly the only fun character to watch in this movie. A creepy grave digger.
I hate worms. They can destroy a real good job.
Because when the only likable character in your movie makes a living out of digging holes to put dead people in, you know you produced Oscar material.
You know anyone who could use a good taxidermist?
So the cop lurks around a bit in the killer's old house, and he finds this kid jacking off.
Shit!
Does he contribute anything to the movie? No, not at all. The cop gets a boner and keeps the magazine, and the boy leaves with a lame plea for pardon and fades out of the movie. Yeah, that's right, kid. Go be pointless somewhere else.
Hey!
What a charming young man.